labor turnover. As we said yesterday in our preliminary class, it is actually the ratio of number of workers leaving an organization during a given period of time, and it is compared to the average number of workers of that organization during the same period. So workers leaving the organization are compared with number of organization. That is a preliminary comparison for labor turnover. So if the number of workers living is increasing, that is not a simple of good position, or maybe it's not a good simple for that company. The company is being affected by some cause, right? And those causes can be categorized into two. One is avoidable, second one is unavoidable. See, unavoidable, it is very easy to understand. See, for example, the current pandemic. Company, it is not a problem of the company, but it is a problem of the world economy as a whole, right? So that is unavoidable. Only thing is you have to meet it. You have to beat that challenge. That's all. Likewise, there are many other unavoidable causes like accident of an employee, maybe the environmental pollution that has made the employee leave the organization, or maybe the lack of facilities within that locality, right? Or maybe the employee prefer to work in a metropolitan city rather than in a urban, semi-urban or rural area. So these are some of the problems which are not within the control of that company. They are beyond. Right. But there are certain cases, there are some problems which can be avoided by the company. Those were the problems which we had discussed in our yesterday's discussion. One is maybe not so good working environment, the pay package not meeting when meeting the requirement when compared with similar other industries. The lack of welfare activities, the lack of recreational activities, the lack of good relationship between the employer, the supervisor, and the subordinates, or between the employees within the peer group. All these things can be one or other reason for the employee for leaving the organization. But in any way, if the labor turnover rate is increasing, that's not a good signal for the company, right? Because as we mentioned in yesterday's class, it will increase the cost to the company. That is the cost of cost involved in recruiting or replacing the employees, the cost involved in training the employees, the cost involved due to lagging or due to a lag in the work, because when new employees being appointed, they need to be trained, they have to be acquainted with the environment within the company. All this will take time, right? So that time lag is also a cost to the company. So that is why companies take care of this turnover ratio as one of the important factor when they go with their business decisions, right? Now, going further, in our module, we will be learning about the measurement of labor turnover, and we will be concentrating on primarily four methods that are used across the world for measuring the labor turnover. As I said, the basic measurement would be comparison between the employees leaving the organization with the employees who are there currently being appointed within the organization. So, right, when we are going to discuss about the methods, the first method is separation method, which is the preliminary method, okay? Separation method. In this, labor turnover ratio is calculated, the formula I have put here, it is number of workers left during the period by average number of workers on roll during that same period. Into 100 is you want to convert that into percentage. So number of workers left during a particular period is compared with the numerator is number of workers left the organization, and the denominator is average number of workers in the role in the same period, right? And we want to convert that into percentage to make it simpler. Right. So now the next question is, how do we go with computation of the average number of workers? It's simple. As we do in accounting, average number of workers is nothing but number of workers at the beginning of that particular period plus number of workers who are present at the end divided by 2. So the average number, on an average, what was the number of workers who were whose names were there in the roll within that factory or within that office. So the first method is separation method. The key to remember is left being compared with who are present. Okay, I'm just giving you the key so that you don't get confused when you go further with different other methods, right? So in the separation method, it is compared number of employees who left the organization with which is compared with number who are there, average number of workers who are present in the role in that particular period, right? So you're learning along with me. You're learning this formula along with me. Okay. Now the second method which we are going to discuss is replacement method. This is the name itself indicates what is the difference between separation method and replacement method. Here the key term is replacement. Earlier, the key term was number of employees left. Here, the key term is number of employees replaced. That's all you have to remember. The remaining all are same. Okay, so number of workers replaced during a period divided by average number of workers present in the role during that period, multiplied by 100 to make it percentage. I hope you have learned it. So the only difference between separation method and replacement method is in replacement, we consider the employees replaced. There might be 50 employees left, but you have replaced only 25. So that's the difference between the first one and the second one. Okay. Now we are going to discuss with the third one. Third one is little more extensive one. Okay. Here, there is one more component which is added along with the numerator. That is number of workers left plus number of workers replaced during that period. Denominator remains same, average number of workers. So you have just combined the first method and the second method, separation method and the replacement method together is the numerator under flex method. So number of employees replaced being compared with number of workers left. So number of workers left plus number of workers replaced during a particular period, which is compared by average number of workers in the role on that particular period. Okay, which is multiplied by 100 as the previous cases to express that in percentage. So we have learned three formulas. So simple, you need not forget it. Just remember the keyword. First one, separation method, number of workers left. So the numerator will be number of workers left during a particular period. Denominator will be average number of workers in the role on that particular period multiplied by 100. So we learned that formula. The second one is replacement method. Here we are going, as the name indicates, number of workers being replaced. As I said the example, no, 50 workers might have left the organization, but you have gone with appointment of only 25 workers. So that only been considered in the second method, that is replacement method. So number of workers replaced being compared with the average number of workers in the role during that period multiplied by 100. Now the third method, this is a combination of the first two methods. Here average number of, number of workers left plus number of workers replaced compared with average number of workers in the role multiplied by 100. So we learned three formulas. It's so simple. Now the fourth one which we are going to learn is an extension of the replacement method, that is requirement method. Little more difficult to compute. But this is also very clear if you know how many workers required to be replaced during that period. Because see, this is applicable only when there is a change in the organizational structure. See, when banks went with VRS, mass optional VRS, voluntary retirement scheme, the problem which they were primarily facing was excess number of employees. When technology was brought in, when the many processes within the bank were mechanized, the number of employees needed for a particular task decreased. They also went with the reduction of number of branches to minimize the operational cost. ATM centers came. Now there is no need for people to come to a branch for operating their account. They can have online online database system where they can maintain their account, they can check their balance, transfer the money. All these can be done. The number of customers coming to the bank branches decreased. Accordingly, the number of employees required for a particular job also decreased. So they went with giving the employees an option for taking voluntary retirement scheme. So that was something which was necessitated within the organizational structure. Right. So it is not always compulsory that if 100 workers went from an organization, you need to replace 100. That will depend upon the type of operation you are having, the type of condition, organizational condition you are having, and also your present requirement. Right. So that is why here in this formula, the requirement method, we consider number of workers required to be replaced during a particular period. Maybe there are 1,000 employees who retired, who took voluntary retirement scheme from banks during that period. Maybe 2000, around 2000, 2005, banks, many of the nationalized banks went with giving them employees an option of voluntary retirement scheme. The basic idea behind that was they wanted a reduction in the number of employees. So the number of employees went may be higher, but the requirement for replacement would be comparatively lower in this particular example. So our fourth method is used in such condition, where we compare the number of workers to be replaced with the average number of workers in the role during that period. Right. So the context is based on the requirement of the organization for replacing the workers. So you take care of that. So it is just an extension of replacement method, taking care of your particular scenario, taking care of the organizational requirement. Correct. So these are the basic four methods. It's very simple, very easy to understand. The first one, as we said, separation method. Left being compared with the people in the role. Number of employees left being compared with the people in the role. Right. Second one, replacement. Right. No, second one, as we learned, it was, yeah, correct, replacement method. In replacement method, number of employees to be replaced, number of employees replaced being compared with average number of workers in the role. Maybe I said the example, 1,000 employees went out, you replaced only 500 for those positions which were vacant. In that case, this 500 would be considered for your formula under replacement method. Now, flex method is a combination. The next which we learned is flux method. It's a combination of separation and replacement method, which is number of workers left plus number of workers replaced when compared with the average number of workers in the role. Now, the last method which we discussed was the requirement method. Here, the keyword is actually required, employees actually required for the organization being compared with the average number of employees in the role. Multiplied by 100, of course, you want to convert that into percentage, right? So that's all about labor turnover ratio and the methods. Now, why it is so important for companies to reduce or to minimize the labor turnover ratio is it can affect their work in a maybe in a negative way. But the example which I was trying to say about banks who wanted the employees to, some of the employees to take compulsory voluntary retirement, there the scenario was different. The number of employees they needed got reduced because of the technological advancements. But in the general condition, the attrition rate, if it is very high, it is going to negatively affect a company's performance. Right. So companies need to be very alert about what is the present labor turnover ratio within their organization. In fact, they don't go with that macro perspective. They generally go with micro perspective of looking to each department. What is the level of labor turnover in that particular department? Because some of the departments there will be almost zero labor turnover. Employees been working with the company for a long time, but some of the departments like IT research, maybe the labor turnover ratio might be a little higher when compared with other departments. So they will have to concentrate on those departments and ensure that the labor turnover ratio is normalized. Normally, yes, there would be certain labor turnover ratio would happen for every organization, because that in a way is good also, because the company would be able to bring in new employees, with the new employees, new culture, new practices, new thoughts can be brought in so that it can be used for the for improvement of the company's performance as a whole. Right. With this, we will do exercise in this.